I'm currently building a shed and I wanted a decent door for it. I managed to pick up this UPVC door from Facebook Marketplace for free. Now if you've seen any of the build so far, you're going to know that this door doesn't exactly match the shed. So I'm going to do a full restoration on this door to stop it looking like an old lady's front door and turn it into a more sleek looking modern door for the shed. First thing I'm going to do is remove the handle and then the infill panel. Both of these can just go because I'm replacing both of these. I'll be reusing the beading though, so I need to be careful to remove this without damaging it using a putty knife and a small mallet. With the beads removed, the panel just lifts out. I'll keep the packers that fell out for later. I removed any frame fixings and then carefully scraped off any silicone. I then gave the whole door and the frame a good wash. I sanded down the exterior of the door and the frame as this is going to be getting painted. The hinge pins were removed so I could lift the door out of the frame to make the painting process easier. I continued to clean, degrease and key the surface ready for paint, and then I masked up any areas that won't be getting painted on the frame. On the door, I removed the locking mechanisms, which are joined with a steel bar, so this doesn't get painted. For the new panel, I priced up both glass and UPVC options, but both were coming out at around £100, and I didn't really want to add this to the budget, so I decided I'd make something myself for a lot cheaper. The panel was 27mm thick, and I had a sheet of 9mm MDF, so I decided I could get a sheet of 18mm moisture resistant MDF and then laminate these two together. This was only about 40 quid and I was left with some decent offcuts for future projects. I glued these using some wood glue and then I clamped them together and put half of the gym on top for a good glue hold. The 9mm MDF sheet was just too narrow, so I had to cut down some pieces on the sides and I filled these gaps with filler. This is the inside, so it won't really ever be seen. I sanded down the surface ready to paint and then I fitted the new panel to the door ready for painting. I added the shims from earlier and packed them in a heel-toe formation to prevent the door from sagging. I added the beading back to fix the new panel in place and then it was ready for paint. I did think about painting the panel separately, then fitting it, but I decided to fit it first as I thought it might help seal any little gaps between the rubber seals and the MDF. For the paint, I'm using Frenchic Alfresco, which I used on our back door and our windows, and it's lasted really well so far. It's also slightly flexible, so it sticks to the rubber seals. I'm applying this using my compressor and spray gun, so I make sure to strain the paint to remove any lumps it may have in it. I then sprayed the frame and the door separately. I gave the door 3 coats, rubbing down with 800 grit sandpaper between each coat. I did this over the course of a few days to allow the paint to dry for sanding. With the shed up, I could then add the door frame into place. If you've watched the previous shed build videos, you'll notice that the cladding has disappeared. I thought it made sense to keep all of the door fitting into this video though. The cladding will miraculously reappear again soon. I fitted the frame with some screws and then I sealed the edges with some silicone. Then it was a case of reassembling the door hardware and adding a shiny new black handle ready for fitting to the frame. Finally, the lock barrel was added and the door was ready to lift into the opening. You'll notice that the inside of the door is still bare MDF at this point. This is going to get painted once the door's in place, just with a roller since no one's ever going to see it. With a little minor adjustment of the hinges, the door was fitting perfectly, and I was very happy to have gone from old lady front door to a nice looking plain black door which complements the look of the shed. All that was then left to do was to fit some door trims, but I'm going to cover that in the next video along with the guttering. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.